coming back with another NFL mock draft 2023 review. Texans shake things up at numero 2. Titans make a bold move. Colts pass on QB. That's interesting. All right, guys, we have Will Brinson's mock draft 2.0. Features surprising move by Houston and a big trade by the Titans. Very interesting. I don't want to read this because I don't want to give anything away. So hopefully we start at number 1, Masters Week, where we are. Number 1 should be C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. Okay, Bryce Young going number 1. This is kind of the standard. This is what's pretty much been happening. It's either you see Young or Stroud or Young. But I kind of am really starting to see Bryce Young going to the Panthers. So 5'10", 204. Only concern is his size. We here at Mock Draft 2.0 will not... What? Okay. Betting industry and the odds suggesting C.J. Stroud is the guy at number 1. He could be. It just feels like Bryce Young is the kid you move up to get. I mean, yeah, you weren't going to get Young or Stroud at 9, that's for sure. But, okay, Bryce Young off the board at number 1. This is not a surprise to anybody. This is expected. Moving on to number 2. What? Will Anderson going number 2. 6'4", 253, the best defender in the draft. Texans are probably taking a QB at 2. Then why did you put Will Anderson? Whatever. But they also turned down a chance to move into the first pick, knowing the Bears had other suitors for the spot. So, what if they're just happy with one of the Alabama players? Houston took 2 of them last year. Okay, it would seriously shake up the draft in a fun way. This isn't happening. This is really not happening. If they weren't going to take a QB, they're going to trade out of number 2, and I'm going to stay put on that. All right. They wanted Will Anderson. They would trade out of pick 2. Whoa. Thought we had Papa Blogger on. Guess not. Got a nice ad for Sephora. I do not wear makeup. Sorry about that. All right. Pick number 3. Tennessee. This could be a move you guys see. Tennessee could move up to pick 3. I'm really starting to think this is a thing. Cardinals GM spent the last few years in Nashville with the Titans. When the Texans shock everyone, this number 3 pick turns into gold. The Titans can jump up for a reasonable price, number 11, plus the second-round pick and fourth-round pick, and grab a QB after Malik Willis appears to not be Mike Vrabel's guy. C.J. Stroud going to the Tennessee Titans, 6'3", 214. Guys, if they can hop into pick 3 for number 11, second-round pick and a fourth-round pick, I'm going to say it's a good move. And honestly, it's a good move for the Cardinals. Going back to 11, I assume you're still going to get your edge that you want. Maybe not Will Anderson since he's off the board already. Probably not going to get Tyree Wilson, but who knows? We'll see who's there at 11. Miles Murphy, maybe. But I like the trade. I really like the trade for the Cardinals. So I don't like this mock draft. I really don't. Pick 4, Jalen Carter, 6'3", 314. There's a lot of chatter about Chris Ballard's warm seat. But Jim Irsay's overseen a tanking operation before and beefing up your defense with a blue-chip prospect and rolling into the season with Gardner Minshew is elite tank material. Yeah, that's a fact. Guys, listen. It's hard for an owner or really anything to do with sports to say, you know what, guys, we're going to go into the season and just call it a wash. We want Caleb Williams next year, and we're going to tank. We're going to take Jalen Carter, who isn't even deserving of a 4th overall pick here. If you're going to do this, you're going to do like Tyree Wilson or something. But we're going to take Jalen Carter, who's off the field issues, and we're going to tank for a year, and we're going to get May or Caleb Williams next year, and that's what our plan is. NFL doesn't really work like that. Sorry to hear this, bub. But it kind of can work that way halfway, 3/4 of the way through the season. Then you can see teams. It can't legally just be like, yeah, we're going to lose every game. You can't do that. But you can make it a little less not non-competitive in the aspect of you have Jonathan Taylor with an ankle injury going into week 10 saying, all right, this is really a 4-week rehab, but boom, he's going on IR. He's done for the season. That's kind of how these teams do it. But I don't like Carter here at 4. Interesting. I haven't seen this yet. Seattle going Peter Skoronski, 6'4", 313. Sorry, I'm on a long day at work. Either your tackle or your guard. Seahawks would prefer to trade back, but it would be spot on Pete Carroll to use another first-round pick acquired in the Russell Wilson trade to beef up the offensive line, moving Skoronski to guard. 5th is high for him here, but the pick fits. The Northwestern products versatility also provides backup in case a tackle gets hurt. Peter Skoronski is the versatile guy on the offensive line. That kid's going to play anywhere on that offensive line, and he's going to play it very well. Yeah, this is high for him at pick 5. Very interesting because I consistently have them going edge. Very interesting on what happens here. Now, how this unfolds the rest of the draft. I got to be honest, through 5 picks, what am I reading? What am I looking at? This is a total head scratcher. We're going to power through this one. Devon Witherspoon, corner, to Detroit. Christian Gonzalez is probably the top-rated corner on most boards, but man, does Witherspoon fit a Dan Campbell defense. I still probably think they're going to go hog molly with this pick, but this is a culture, scheme, need fit. This is a total... Who is this guy again? Will Brinson. You're killing me, dude. Devon Witherspoon. Definitely need, not my CB1. I had Gonzalez as my CB1 the entire offseason. Want to put that out there. I don't hate this pick. This is actually one of the ones that I've relatively liked that he's done so far. Tyree Wilson going to the Raiders, 6'6", 271. The Raiders could go QB here. Levis and Richardson are suddenly slipping. But Chandler Jones seems destined to become a salary cap casualty after this year, which means Vegas needs to replenish its pass rush this offseason. And let me tell you, Tyree Wilson will come in and step right into Chandler Jones' shoes. I'm impressed by this kid, and I think he's going to be very good. The size, the length, the speed, everything is there for this kid. So, honestly, this is a really good pick for the Raiders. Really good pick for the Raiders. Oh. CBS Sports is so high on Drew Sanders. They really are. 6'4", 235. Super tempted to go with a QB here, but the Falcons haven't showed a massive prosperity to fly around the draft board. They have, however, shown some interest in adding pieces to their defense. Quarterback is an option, but dude, Gonzalez is on the board, and you're not going Drew Sanders over Christian Gonzalez in the top 10. I'm sorry. All right, quarterback is an option, but Drew Sanders, coupled with the dudes up front, Grady Jarrett, Calais Campbell, and I don't even know, I'm going to say David, I'm not even going to butcher his last name, is fun to imagine. The Falcons defense could be taking shape. Yeah, well, they could also be taking shape with Christian Gonzalez, who in my eyes is a better value at 8. Not Drew Sanders, you could trade back. I mean, Jesus Christ, the Bears, home run. Home run. If Gonzalez slides to them into 9 and they pick him, that's awesome. The Bears can go a lot of different directions here. Offensive line makes a ton of sense, but those Matt Eberflus defenses in Indy, always had a good combo of linebackers and solid corners. Adding Gonzalez with Jalen Johnson would put some teeth in this defense. I'll be shocked if Gonzalez is still here at 9. I mean, if Gonzalez gets past Atlanta and Detroit, that's a nice pick. Pick 10, Broderick Jones, 6'5", 311. As the first, I'm going to say a legit tackle off the board because Skronsky could be arguably a guard. So, Howie Roseman's been hammering the UGA Bama pipelines lately, which probably counts as analytics. The trenches need depth and future starters for the Eagles. The last CB they drafted in the first round was Lito Shepherd. I don't even know who that is. So anyone banking on seeing that is ignoring obvious draft history. Yeah, but if you look at the history, they also haven't had like miserable corners. So, I mean, all right, whatever. That's analytics for you and just draft facts for you. So, Broderick Jones coming here. You really going to go pick 10 for depth? If you're going to go pick 10 for depth, why would you not trade this year and move back like 5 spots, considering Levis and Anthony Richardson are still on the board? You can get something for the 10th pick. You're not going to go depth offensive tackle, who, honestly, Paris Johnson Jr. should be the first legit tackle off the board. Wow, that's crazy. That's exactly what I said at the start of this mock. Clemson defensive lineman Miles Murphy, 6'5", 268. Confession, I actually only had the Cardinals trade out of the number 3 spot, hoping I would draw the ear of Darren Urban as he rounded up mock drafts for the Cards website and saw another mock trade. But we're here, and they have to take someone, so why not? A sorely needed rusher off the edge. I get the trade. I get it because Will Anderson wasn't there, so I mean, interesting for sure. But I don't know. I mean, definitely like the pick at 11. I like the value. So, okay. Oh, man. My allergies are bad and had a headache before this, and this is what you do? You skipped QB at number 2 where you could have got CJ Stroud. You went Will Anderson. Then you go with the project Anthony Richardson, who I have very high regards up for, and I think he's going to be good in the league. This is not what you do with the number 2 pick and 12th pick. Okay, 6'4", 244, Anthony Richardson goes. Pick number 12. 2. The QB needing Texans, who passed number 2. Okay, honestly didn't plan this when I went Anderson at 2, really. But if you're the Texans, how do you not sign in? How do you not sign in blood for this right now? An elite defensive prospect with an upside-riddled QB who you don't feel compelled to start right now. Okay, their offensive coordinator was in San Fran when they drafted a smaller, slower passer a few years ago, attempting to reinvent the Shanahan clan offense. It's a Shanahan joke. It wasn't that good, I gotta be honest. Whatever. Okay. That's a head scratcher for sure. I like it. I mean, this is really cool. You can't. I mean, there's no shot you rely on the draft to fall like this, but okay. I mean, this is the first pick that I totally damn agree with. Holy crap. Totally agree with the Jets going offensive tackle. Paris Johnson Jr. If they get this is a home run. Paris Johnson Jr., 6'6", 313. Tough to peg. All right, I would never use those words. Tough to peg without the Aaron Rodgers deal finalized. The Jets could still use help on offensive line, especially with Becton lingering as a question mark and Dwayne Brown quite long in the tooth. The only hesitation here is Woody Johnson stressing a lack of patience with this team. Interesting. I gotta be honest. I really don't like this. I don't like this mock draft so far. All right. Excuse me. Quentin Johnston, pick 14 to the Patriots. TCU, 6'3", 208. The Patriots' early round history with wide receiver isn't fantastic, so this likely won't go over well. But it hasn't stopped them from trying to find a guy. Johnston would pair nicely with Juju Smith-Schuster and they're kind of similar. Yeah, whatever. But Juju Smith-Schuster and give the Pats a legit deep threat they sorely missed for some time. If you don't like Johnston or the Pats taking a wide receiver in the first round, take it up with Belichick, not me. I mean, you're the one who just made this mock draft. This isn't what Belichick did, so we should probably take this up with you as of right now. This is a weird mock, guys. Back to back. Back-to-back wide receivers, 14 and then 15. Zay Flowers. Wow. Remember when the Seahawks traded Russell Wilson and promptly took O-line help early in the draft? This reeks the Packers doing the same thing to Aaron Rodgers with the built-in excuse of helping Jordan Love. Flowers' size might not be perfect, but he's a dude. Yeah, he's nasty with the ball in his hands. 5'9", 182. Absolutely explosive after the catch. Good hands. But really, we're going receiver here at 15. I mean, I don't hate it, but I like Brian Branch here better. Whatever. Another pick I really, really love. Joey Porter Jr. to Washington. All right, 6'3", 193. With Will Levis slipping, this could be a prime spot for a trade down or even just snagging the Kentucky QB. I think Ron Rivera believes in Sam Howell and would love to add a talented young piece to his secondary. Porter has the pedigree and played at a high level. It just fits Washington kind of easily. I mean, yeah. It really does. They need a corner. So, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. This pick and the Jets pick are probably the only two picks that I actually like so far. I mean, yeah, these are really the only two picks that I can see happening so far. Let me put it that way. What is this guy on? Kentucky senior, 6'4", 229, QB Will Levis. Mock trade Will Levis line ends here with the Seattle Seahawks sensing some serious value and swapping with Pittsburgh. Seattle sends its third-round pick and 20 for Pittsburgh's fourth pick and 17. So it can jump up and add a QB with some Josh Allen traits. I'll never forget Seattle GM watching Allen's pro day as long as I live. Who can sit and learn behind Geno Smith as necessary? The Lions and Bucks were definitely threats to take Levis as well. I'll be shocked if Levis falls past 15. I'll be shocked if Levis falls out of top 15. I'll be shocked if Richardson falls out of the top 15. I think you're going to see 4 quarterbacks go in the top 15. Do I hate this pick? No, this is an awesome pick for Seattle, especially development-wise. Good trade for the Steelers. Good trade for Seattle. I like it. Bijan. Whoa. Pick 18. Spicy from the Lions. Grabbing Bijan Robinson here feels a touch excessive, but DeAndre Swift is in the final year of his rookie contract. David Montgomery got a 2 or even possibly 1-year contract. Okay. Robinson behind this offensive line could cook. At some point, you ignore a positional value and take an elite running back at a discount. When people zig, sometimes you gotta zag. I love that saying. When people zig, sometimes you gotta zag. I don't hate this pick for the Lions, but considering they went corner, I don't necessarily know running back is the top need. If anything, they have a good pick in the second round. You could grab like Jimmy or Gibbs, so whatever. Another pick I actually kind of like. Matthew out of Syracuse, 6'5", 318 to Tampa Bay at 19. It's pretty wild how quickly Tampa's offense just cratered before our eyes. And it's fine because they won a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. I agree. I mean, look what the Rams did. Rams absolutely sold out and won a Super Bowl. Now the Bucs sold out and won a Super Bowl. Whatever. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin remains staples, but the run game is a big question mark, and the offensive line is also another big question mark. Beef it up with some versatility. He probably ends up kicking inside. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely a pick. It's definitely a pick of need. I am literally sitting here consistently saying there is nothing wrong with the Buccaneers going offensive line in the first 2 picks. Nothing wrong with it. Absolutely nothing wrong with that happening. Listen, if the Steelers can drop back, and still get Van Ness, that's nice. All right, Lucas Van Ness, 6'5", 272 from the trade. Pittsburgh's talent up front will give Van Ness time to learn and develop from elite NFL players in the same room. He'll also be able to make some splash plays out of the gate for a Terrell Austin defense and Steelers team that surely sees itself as a competitor this season. First off, you got to give Pickett and Pickens some more time to develop together. Najee is Najee. You got to beef up that offensive line. You see that as depth. I like the Lucas Van Ness here pick. Value-wise, it's pretty good. I like it. Oh, who do my Chargers take in this absolutely absurd mock draft? Let me get something straight. Jordan Addison and Jackson Smith and the Jigba are still on the board. So you're going to go Jalen Hyatt, who had I get game speed is different, but he had a underperforming 40. 6 foot, 176 out of Tennessee. You might think the Chargers have a good wide receiving core, and it is very strong up top. But Keenan Allen and Mike Williams see monster cap hits after 2023. I agree. Which could mean a change coming. Additionally, LA needs a vertical speed threat, particularly with Kellen Moore replacing Joe Lombardi. Joe Lombardi was an absolute cancer to this team. Keenan Allen or Mike Williams will be cut next year. That's my prediction. But in this aspect, if that's going to be the case, then you're going to get Jordan Addison to go replace Keenan Allen. I don't necessarily know if you're going Jalen Hyatt here with the way this board is falling. Do I think wide receiver is a position of need? Yes. Do I think it's the way they go? No. Not with the way this is falling. Let me make that clear. Not with the way this draft is falling. They're not going to go Jalen Hyatt. They may go wide receiver. They may not go Jalen Hyatt. This is a Baltimore move. Nolan Smith, 6'2", 238. There's also rumors that Odell may go there. The Ravens could certainly draft another wide receiver as a peace offering for Lamar, but their pass rush might need some reinforcements if they want to get after the young trio of NFC North opponents they'll see next year. I get it. I totally agree. Nolan Smith, I really like. This is probably good value for him too at this point. I'm trying to think who came off the board already. Whoa! Hendon Hooker to the Vikings? Let's get weird. Yeah, that's weird. Kirk Cousins fits the scheme, knows the coach, etc., etc. But he's 34 years old and has 1 year left on his contract. Hooker's coming off a torn ACL, so the timetable is pretty outstanding to grab a leader/scheme-dependent type QB to run this KOC offense. It gives the Vikings some pretty good leverage if there's mutual interest in running it back for 2024 and should motivate Cousins this year. The only question is if they'll let him know. What? What did I just read? I mean, I'm just flabbergasted by Hendon Hooker here. I mean, he's older. I mean, there's still corners on the board. That's why I'm saying this. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. I don't think Kelee Ringo goes before Deonte Banks. I'm going to make that clear, too. Do I think corner is a position of need for the Jags? Yeah. All right. 6'2", 207 out of Georgia. Okay, kid's flying around. Got burnt because he was a little aggressive this past year. Jaguars roster looks pretty darn stout, but Jacksonville definitely needs help on the back end of defense. Trent hasn't been shy about targeting Georgia for help on his roster, spending a first and second round pick in the Dogs the last 2 years. Plus, think of the cheap moving costs. I mean, it's close. Whatever. Corner's definitely a position of need. I do like Kelee Ringo, but I think there's better on the board right now. That's the only reason why I don't really like this. I just think there's better on the board. A.K.A. Cam Smith, Deonte Banks. This is a home run pick for the Giants, and I'm going to explain why. Brian Branch, Giants dipped into the Bama pool in the first round last year, so let's run it back here to beef up the back of this defense. Branch is just 21 years old with positional versatility, and Brian Daboll certainly has a viable connection with Nick Saban to find out how Branch will fit. Wide receiver would be fine here too, but this is good value given what's available later for pass catchers. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a Giants fan, this is a home run pick because this kid can play anywhere on the defense. Put him in the box, not to rush the passer, but put him in the box. He doesn't miss tackles. Put him as a slot, outside corner, over the top safety. You want him to do it, he'll do it. This is a good pick for a New York Giants defense that honestly, in my eyes, has more holes than people think. This will fill a couple. Yes, he's only one player on the field at a time. This is depth at almost every secondary position on that defense. Wow. Michael Mayer to the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy wants to run the dang ball. So why not help your offense out twice by grabbing a strong run-blocking tight end who doesn't need to be the focal point of the offense with a stout wide receiver core on the depth chart? I get it. I mean, The way this wide receiver core are falling, I think that the wide receivers here at this point, I think the way the wide receivers are falling are just better. Josh Downs, wide receiver. Did Jackson? Come on. Josh Downs, 5'9", 171. Bills fans are rabid dogs for wide receivers, so let's give them a serious, legit slot guy in a pass-happy offense, with Downs providing a perfect complement to Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. Look at the name underneath him. How does Jackson Smith and the Jigba go after Jalen Hyatt, go after Josh Downs? How? I like the pick. I like the slot pick, but I don't necessarily know if Josh Downs is first-round talent either. I get the fit, but come on. Come on. Jackson Smith and the Jigba to the Bengals. This makes sense. I would rather see them go offensive tackle like Anton Harrison, but this makes sense. 6'1", 196. The Bengals are loaded at wide receiver, but Tyler Boyd's contract is coming up. They have to pay Joe Burrow and adding a stud slot guy in Jackson Smith and Jigba versus paying Boyd another big deal could be a way to alleviate the Burrow bomb coming to the salary cap either this offseason or next. This offense could be cooking in 2023. If Jackson Smith and Jigba falls here, and this is how the draft board goes, this is a home run pick for the Bengals, considering that they took Jamar Chase when they desperately needed offensive line, so we know how they valued that. History probably could repeat itself here, but offensive tackle is a bigger need. I'm going to leave that there. There's Jordan Addison. Jeez, how many wide receivers are going in the first round? 5'11", 173. Addison was a monster at Pitt before he transferred to USC, where he was just fine. We presume that the Saints are fine at wide receiver because Olave and Michael Thomas, but if Thomas, 30 years old by the way, doesn't come back and be his old self or gets hurt, things get thin pretty quickly. This could be a nice compliment to help out Derek Carr. This is how this draft falls. This is a good pick. I also like an edge here for them as well. Home run pick. I really like this. I don't know if I'm taking Brian Breesville or College and Cansey, though. That's tough. Different type of players, though. 6'6", 298. Very tempted to go edge here. Nolan Smith would be the target based on Howie Roseman's love for UGA. Isn't he off the board? Didn't he just get drafted to the Ravens? Yeah, what are you talking about? Does he remember his own mock? Okay. But Howie jumped all over Clemson's prospects too, and likely knows he needs to continue to build depth on the interior with Fletcher Cox long in the tooth. He loves this thing, meaning he's old, long in the tooth. Wow. I love Brian Brees, big fan of his backstory. Wish him well. I say it every video because that's how strongly I feel about it, and I think he's going to do well. I think he's going to do well in the NFL, and especially in Philly. This is a really cool pick for him. I think he would work well on that defensive line. Keon White. Very interesting. Willem McDonald's up there. I'm trying to think of who else off the top of my head if I can remember back on this draft. Whatever. Keon White, 6'5", 285. The Chiefs remain ahead of the curve with Patrick Mahomes locked in essentially forever. They decided to just pepper defensive players in the draft. It's like the reverse rookie QB contract with an alien at quarterback, and it's obviously working quite well with a second Super Bowl win. They add more up front here. Keon White adding to the last spot in this draft. I like Will McDonald. I like B.J. Ojolari here as well, maybe over Keon White. All depends on the player they want. Guys, what a mock draft, huh? This was, honestly, there's the nice way to put it, this was a head scratcher for me. This was an absolute head scratcher for me. I like it because it's different, but I was really thrown off by it. Okay. Guys, Will Brinson from CBS Sports, thank you for his mock draft 2.0. Definitely different. We never know how the mock drafts are going to shape up. We never know how the draft is going to shake. All right? Hence the A.J. Brown trade. Hence some of these move-ups and whatever. It goes as far back as Aaron Rodgers falling. Whatever. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We're on the road to 500. I will be live draft day. Please stop in, say hey. I will have PFF up. We're going to go over every single draft, prospect drafted in the first round. I'm Two Tone Sports, guys. Once again, thank you for watching.